Hello community, I hope this video finds you well. For this week's video, I'd like to talk about boundaries. And this word gets thrown around a lot. It's a very big topic. I obviously cannot cover it in a 5-minute video, but it is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart. In my personal coaching, in my personal life, when we're trying to manifest something, when we're trying to create, oftentimes this subject around boundaries comes up because we have to put boundaries down in different parts of our life in order to conserve energy, in order to bring more happiness, more positivity into our life, in order to manifest whatever it is we're looking to manifest. So, but a concept around boundaries, for those of us that never experienced solid boundaries in the sense that we were yelled at often, we were name called often, we were judged often, we were told to be quiet often as a child. And our generation and generations even earlier, there wasn't a lot of political correctness in terms of the way that children were taught, right? Our parents didn't really have to adhere to a lot of the rules that are present in today's generation. So a lot of us grew up with never experienced boundaries, never experiencing good boundaries. So this is where our sense of self sort of just never was able to form a strong sense of self. So the definition of boundary is that it promotes integrity. And that's the whole purpose of boundaries, is because it promotes integrity of our sense of self, integrity for the relationship. And so if we were never taught this, where do we begin? Where do we even begin to feel how to put boundaries down, or what's enough or not enough? Or oftentimes we kind of struggle around the right and wrong. And a very simple exercise that I give people is to just take 3 days. Take 3 days and notice if, when you feel just a biological need, such as the need to get a drink of water, the need to go to the bathroom, the need to take a rest, the need to put your body to bed and go to sleep, the need to eat something. Oftentimes we ignore those signals, and oftentimes we keep ourselves so busy sometimes that we don't even give our body a chance. Well, we're not in our bodies, so we don't sense or hear or feel those signals, biological signals. I'm not talking about anything else but biological basic needs of the human. We stay moving so much, we stay in our heads so much that we don't even sense or feel what's happening in the body. And then there's the times that we do sense and feel it and we ignore it. So why do I bring up this exercise around boundaries is because in order to put a boundary down, I have to be able to sense and feel how things, conversations, people, events feel for me. If I don't know what affects me, then how can I protect it? Like if, for instance, if someone jokes around and they're poking fun and they're being sarcastic, and sarcasm, I'm sure many of you have heard, I really think that the definition of sarcasm is the accepted form of abuse, right? It really is. It's a culturally accepted form of verbal abuse. And I'm not a big fan of it because it's not authentic. And, they say, oh, I'm only kidding, but they're saying something that's true, but yet they say that they're kidding. So for me, there's like this big disconnect. So if I grew up around that, and I just had to learn to accept it. I sort of turned off inside I turned off from myself the how much that affected me. So I could never put a boundary down. And sometimes we get conditioned to just turning off our signals of the way things make us feel. So when we start with the biological needs, we're paying attention to the way how the body's talking to us, and we want to keep like a little record just for 3 days. Notice how many times you respect or ignore or simply never even tune in to your body, and you keep a little journal. And just doing that very simple little exercise will keep you alert and aware to listening. And then this will grow into a habit. And eventually we will learn communication around that. But learning how to put boundaries down, it's a process like anything else. So I hope this helps, and I love any kind of questions around boundaries or any other types of self-mastery concepts. And remember, there's not a right or wrong ever on how things make us feel. Our level of sensitivity is personal to us, and we all have an extremely valid reason why we feel what we feel. So if you hear your inner dialogue saying to yourself, oh, I really shouldn't be that upset about that, or so and so did this and they weren't upset about it, that comparison dialogue, that's a boundary violation on yourself, because I'm ignoring my own feelings when I do that. When I compare myself to others or against some standard or some rule book, if I'm feeling a certain way, I'm feeling a certain way. No rule is going to make me feel better. So I just have to allow myself to have my moment and to validate, as always, our feelings, because they're all records of our past. So I hope this helps. Love to hear your feedback, and have a beautiful week.